Ebola virus disease is also formally known as Ebola hemorrhagic fever. It is often fatal for humans. The virus spreads through human-to-human transmission, although the virus is transmitted from wild animals to humans. The average fatality rate is around 50%. First outbreaks of the virus have occurred in Central Africa, although it has also spread to West Africa. Early diagnosis is key. Although there are no current vaccines available for this disease, symptomatic treatment is available to address the symptoms which occur. It is said that fruit bats of the Pterodapidae family are the natural hosts. Ebola is introduced to humans through close contact with blood, secretions, organs, or other bodily fluids of infected animals. Ebola then spreads from person to person through direct contact, such as broken skin, with the blood, secretions, organs, or other bodily fluids of infected people. Anyone who lives where the outbreak is occurring has an equal chance of getting the disease. All populations are affected, although outbreak is seen mainly in Africa. That is where it is currently most prominent. Although here in the United States, the Ebola virus was found in a man who had traveled from Liberia to Dallas, Texas. He did not show signs of the disease before he left Liberia, but 4 days upon arrival back into the United States, he started to show symptoms. Symptoms of the virus include fever, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. Symptoms may progress to include rash, symptoms of kidney and liver impairment, and in severe cases, internal and external bleeding. The incubation period for this disease is 2 to 21 days. Humans are not considered to be infectious until they start to develop symptoms. So to conduct an outbreak investigation, me and my team would take all necessary precautions by researching the disease, by looking at areas where people are infected, and considering other preparations, such as proper care to prevent further exposure. The next step would be to look at individuals infected to verify the diagnoses of everyone infected. If everyone has a similar diagnosis, presence of outbreak can be confirmed. Next step would be to identify what everyone has in common, how they became infected, and if it is indeed through contact or another mode of transmission. Once it is concluded that it is indeed through contact, then everyone needs to be educated on handling of sick individuals as well as the deceased to avoid least amount of exposure to prevent further outbreak. Then the next step would be to conduct further epidemiologic investigation to conclude incubation period, what pathogen is responsible for the outbreak. Then the last step would be continued surveillance in the area of outbreak as well as further research to potentially develop vaccines for this disease. So this graph here shows the number of cases in certain countries in Africa. So in Liberia, this would be the infected, and this would be the number of deaths. Same as with Sierra Leone and Guinea. So it looks like most of the cases of individuals who are infected are in Liberia. And then this graph here shows the Ebola symptoms. This is the incubation period, 2 to 21 days, but 8 to 10 days is most common. So this would be the first stage in which you just get joint pain, sore throat, fever, headache, to the last stage here, organ failure, shock, massive bleeding, death. And then this last graph here shows the source, which is the fruit bats, as well as the mode of transmission, as well as the damage of what it does to the human body, such as the fever, sore throat, eventually possibly death.